Mary Robinson, currently Chair of the Elders, former President of Ireland. It means having a sense of listening to people and listening to those who are more vulnerable, more marginalised, more rural, more indigenous, who need to know their rights and who need to have access to what will improve their lives in so many different ways. Well, I was on the Commission on Legal Empowerment of the Poor more than 10 years ago, and we were shocked that 4 billion people didn't have access to justice. It's even more shocking that now it's 5 billion. We need to get to communities, particularly rural communities, women, children, those who are more vulnerable. And it's very often paralegals, it's community-based systems that help most. But on the whole, law as it's practiced isn't very open to being people-centred. So we need to broaden the access through use of non-fully qualified lawyers who can be quite resistant to change, in fact, in reality. We need paralegals, we need community-based opportunities to really understand the problems locally and make sure that people have access to knowing their rights and knowing how to follow up by getting a remedy in whatever form. And very often it's not going to court, it may be some other kind of remedy, but to know your rights is the essential thing. I was very shocked when I served as the UN Special Envoy for the Great Lakes in Africa in 2013, 2014. Part of it was the Democratic Republic of Congo. I remember being at a number of meetings where I actually had to throw the men out so that the women, civil society, so we could have a good meeting first of all, and then I would say, now men, out you go, so that I would be able to listen to women who would feel that they could speak out about the awful rape and violence against their bodies, destruction of their bodies, which they talked about. And it's very clear that rape is a form of warfare. It's a horrible, horrible form, and it's now prevalent in South Sudan. It was very prevalent in Bosnia in the 90s. It's wherever there is that kind of vulnerability, we know that this is what happens. But I appeal in particular, as Chair of the Elders, to the donor community to understand that supporting access to justice is the key to making countries more sustainable. And now that countries are beginning to report under Goal 16, are beginning to prioritise their own budgets for justice, please support them as much as possible.